Welcome back to the class, children. I am your science teacher and my name is Mrs. Jyoti. So we are in lesson 2, playing with magnets. So already we have learned that magnets, the natural magnet is called load magnet. And it is a stone. And here you can see man-made magnets of 4 different shapes. Not only these shapes, you can even have more other shapes also. Like in stationery, you have a magnet of an egg shape, then a star shape, a moon shape, right? So different shapes of magnets are also available. So magnets, they have a property of attracting things like steel, iron. So these things they can attract. So the substances which are attracted by the magnet are called as magnetic substances. They are called as magnetic substances, and which are not attracted by the magnet are called as non-magnetic substances or non-magnetic materials. So about this we have learnt. Then we have already done one experiment, that is in the school ground or the normal ground which you have, like sand near your home. Take a bar magnet, stick it to just tie it to a stick and just roam it around, just touch it little bit near to the sand. So after moving for 5 to 10 minutes, you can remove the bar magnet and you can observe the bar magnet. You can see some dark particles which are attached to the magnet. So what are those? Those are nothing but the iron fillings, like small particles of irons. So here in page number 15, now we are going to learn about the poles of a bar magnet. So what are poles? Let us see. So does the property, here I am reading. So does the property of attracting iron fillings remain same for all the parts of the bar magnets? So let us see. So as I already told you, if this is a magnet, does all the 6 sides attract in the same way, or is there somewhere it is little hard and somewhere it is little weak? Let us find out with an activity. So here you can see in the picture, by looking at the picture only you will get an idea what they are doing, right? So spread some iron fillings uniformly on a sheet of paper. So you have to take a sheet of paper and you have to put all that iron fillings. So if you don't have iron fillings, you can put all pins also here and there. Or if all pins are not there, take any 10 to 15 safety pins and put it here and there on a sheet of paper. So place a bar magnet below the sheet. So what you have to do, take a thick sheet, a little broader than an A4 sheet, and put the safety pins or iron fillings or all pins here and there, and then below that you put a bar magnet. So don't take a more smaller one, take a little bigger bar magnet. So what you are going to observe? So what do you observe? Do you observe any change in the pattern of iron filling spread over the sheet? So do they simply stick to the paper, or do they move here and there? That you have to observe. So as shown in the figure, so you will observe that the uniformly spread iron fillings concentrate at 2 points of the paper sheet. At some distance, you will find some scattered iron fillings between these 2 points. So as shown in the figure here, that is figure number 3, most of the iron fillings they scatter to the sides, that is towards the your right hand side and left hand side, and in between very few iron fillings you can see which are scattered here and there. So this change in the spread of iron fillings on the sheet of paper is due to the magnet present below. So why they are moving to one other sides? Because of the magnet which is present below the paper. The iron fillings move towards its end because of the magnet. Thus, the end of the magnets are attracted more iron fillings than the middle part of the magnet. So, by this experiment, we are concluding that, so when we are placing a bar magnet here, for suppose I kept, this is a paper, I kept few iron fillings here on the top. So, at which part they are attracted? Here and here, and few they are in the middle, they are scattered. So, which parts are attracting? These sides are attracting more iron fillings. So, these sides are nothing but we call them as poles of the magnet. So, what do we call these sides? We call them as poles. Poles. We call them as poles of the magnet. So here you can see this is a bar magnet. So the N is there, that is north side, and S is there, that is south side. So those are nothing but we call them as poles. So these poles attract more iron fillings than the remaining part of the magnet. So I will tell you what is the north and south afterwards. So by this activity, we can conclude that every bar magnet always it will have two ends. So whereas remaining like a disc magnet if you take or a ring magnet if you take, there are no north and south poles or there are no two ends because they are round in shape. As this is a bar magnet, they have two ends, right? So by this activity, we can conclude that every bar magnet always has two ends whose attracting capacity is more than the other parts. So these ends are nothing but we call them as poles of the magnet. So finding directions with the bar magnet. What is the use of finding directions with the bar magnet? What is the use of finding directions with the bar magnet? Let us see. Finding the directions. So, suspend the bar magnet freely with the help of a thread tied around its center as shown in the figure 4. Does the magnet remain stationary? Stationary in the sense, will it be like the same as if it as its pole? Okay, or is it moving here and there? So, wait for some time and what do you find now? So, as shown in the figure, you have to take a table, a stand. Then take a bar magnet and tie a thread at the center of the magnet and just tie the thread to the stand and leave it. So is it remaining stationary or is it moving here and there? So if it is moving here and there, wait for some time, still it is stable like that. So later what you are going to observe? You will notice that the magnet finally takes a position in the north-south direction. So after some time the magnet it stops moving and it will just be in a one single position. That is nothing but the north-south position. So you all know directions, right? North, south, east, west. So whichever is the east side you can identify it very easily because the sun rises towards the east. So if you know east, easily you can see just which is the north and south side. So opposite to the east side, like this cross it is going to be. For suppose if you are in the east side, if this is east, that would be north and I would be towards the south. So whatever magnet I kept here, after some time it will be in a straight line to me. Okay, so it's going to be in a straight line like in north and south direction. So by this you can mark it in a north and south direction. As I already told you, if you are to the east side, then the front side of me will be the north. So mark that edge as with red color, and so that red color will resemble that it is north. and towards me it would be south. So mark the end that points towards the north with some color. Some you can take a red color which is very bright. Now disturb the magnet and again wait for some time. So after some time what happened is it is stopping in the position of north and south. Now again disturb it, just move it, give a swing to that magnet, and after some time just see what are the differences. Now where does the color portion come to the rest? So till now the red colored part whichever we are giving to the magnet is towards the north side. So after moving the magnet you just see to which side the red color is stopping. So repeat this experiment at another place and what do you observe? Now if you do this experiment in the hall, same stand everything you take to a kitchen or your garden or somewhere you take and just repeat the experiments. So what you are going to observe in that experiment? To which side the magnet is moving, to which side the red color part is showing. So these things you have to observe and note it down in a paper. So magnets always come to rest in the north-south direction. So as I already showed you here, magnets always they come to a rest in a north-south direction. And towards the north we have painted in with some color like a red, right? So magnets always come to a rest in north and south direction. In each case, the marked end points towards the north. So this end is known as the north pole and the other end is known as the south pole. So this property of magnets is called as a directional property. So this directional property we use it mostly in the compass. Compass is not that which you draw circles in mathematics. So it is here in the picture 5, figure 5. So basically we use this compass to find out the directions. So where it is used that later we will see. So if you take a bar magnet, so one side you have made as red color. So that is nothing but the north side and the other side is south side. So this is called as the north pole and this is called as the south pole. So it has two poles. So whatever things are attracted by the magnet, only the north pole and south pole can attract more than the remaining part of the magnet. So the property of finding the directions is nothing but we call it as directional property. Finding out the directions we call as directional property. So it is exhibited only by the magnets. So we can find the directions without a map, only with the help of a magnet. So without magnets we cannot find the directions. So we use this property of to make the magnetic compass. So here is the magnetic compass. So let us see about the magnetic compass. A compass is usually a small box with a glass covering. A magnetized needle is pivoted inside the box in such a way that it can rotate freely. The compass also has a dial with directions marked on it. The compass is kept at the place where we wish to know the directions. The needle indicates the north-south direction when it comes to rest. The compass is then rotated until the north and south mark on the dial are exactly below the two ends of the needle. To identify the north pole of the magnetic needle, it is usually painted with a different color. Then we identify the north and south poles at that place. After that we can also find east and west between them. So here is a magnetic compass. So how a magnetic compass will be? The magnetic compass will be same like a clock. like it will be round in shape, where inside that north, south, east, west, and few more compass. They even show the sub directions also, like northeast, southeast, then southwest, and this is the northwest. And here in between you have a needle. So that needle is going to, like how you have in a clock, but in clock you have only a needle which is pointing to only one number. But here there is a long needle where half of the portion is colored with red. Mostly its color will be red, and the remaining will be in the same color as shown in the figure, like how a steel color will be like grey in color. So it also will be in the same color. So what this magnetic needle will do, it is going to show the direction towards the north. So here this needle is going to move freely. How the dial, how the needles, the hands will move in a clock freely. So here also these needles are going to move freely in a compass. So on top of this a glass covering will be there, like same as the clock. You have a glass covering or a plastic covering. So here also you have a plastic covering or a glass covering. So how we are going to find out the directions? For suppose I am somewhere in the forest and I don't know how to go, but I have a map with me. I have to go towards the I have to go towards the west side. Then how should I go? I don't know which is the west side, and the sun is on top of me. So it is afternoon. I don't know which is the east and which is south and which is west. Then how can I go? With the help of this compass, we can find out the directions. Like this is north, south, east and west. So in this compass, the needle, the red colored portion, always it point out the north side. So which side it is going to point out? It is going to point out the north side. Now which side I have to go? I have to go towards the west side. Then only I can reach my destination. So which side I have to go? I don't know. Now I have a compass. So with the help of this compass, I can find out which is the west side. So wherever I am standing, I have to take a stable position, like a flat position I have to take, and put the compass on the hand or somewhere on the ground. So whichever side it is showing the north. For example, same way it is showing that this side is the north. Then which side I have to go if I stand like this? Should I go towards my right hand side or towards my left hand side? Because towards my left hand side is west, I should go towards my left hand side. So with the help of compass, we can find out the directions easily. So a compass is used to find the directions. It is used in the ships and aeroplanes. And even mountaineers also are going to use this. The person who do trekking, they do skating and all on the snowy mountains, right? So these people and the people who travel, the pilots, so they are going to use this compass. They have an automatic compass in their aeroplanes and all. So they show a small screen will be there. So on that screen, it's going to show which side is the north and south and which direction they have to go. And people who sail in ships, once they go into a ship and they enter into the sea, after they travel, they do not have any landmark. For suppose if I am here, I should go to somewhere else. We have some landmarks here, like here a hospital is there, a temple is there, our school is there. So these are all the landmarks which people know very well. But in the sea, there are no landmarks. There is no building or a tree. Everywhere it will be like empty after reaching the middle portion of the sea. So in such cases, what happens is this compass is going to help to which direction they have to move. So mountaineers and sometimes army people, they also carry a compass with them so that they do not lose their way in an unknown place. So whenever sometimes they just go away like that continuously and they forget the way in which direction they have come. So in such cases this compass is going to help them. So don't play compass and magnets together. So what will have if we put a compass and magnets together? Let us see in the next session. So your homework will be, you have a record book. So in the record book you have to do page number 5. This diagram is related to lesson 2, that is finding directions with a bar magnet. So here down you have steps also how to draw a bar magnet, finding the direction. So here is a stand, so that outline you have to do first. Then after doing this outline, then you can do this part. Then you want to color, you can color it with some like color pencils or crayons, right? So this is your homework. So do it in the record book, page number 5. This you have to complete. So hope you all have understood this. Meet you in the next session.